So step one in our process will be to try to think of as many tests as possible for this one method. And then we'll write method stubs for each test that we can think of, and we'll add the assert.inconclusive method inside of each method stub. Now this indicates that no test has yet been written. The goal here is just to try to think of as many ways to test that one method as possible. And of course you will do this for every method in each class. So step two then is we create the test for each method, and we create the test for each overload of that method too. So if we had other overloads of that file exists method, we would create tests or tests for each one of those as well. And also now we had an if statement in there, so we want to make sure we write tests to cover all the if, else, switch, loop, any type of statements like that. We also want to make sure we're covering in our tests. Now we did have one if statement in there, so that adds to the number of tests that we're going to eventually create. Step three, do we have too many test methods for this one method that we're trying to test? Now if that's true, if you think, hey, boy, I've got like 20 different ways to do this, well, maybe you need to think about refactoring that original method. It probably means that method is too long. You're doing too much stuff in there. So you might want to break it up a little bit. Step four then is we start running the tests. Well, all we've done at this point is add that assert.inconclusive. We just want to make sure that all the tests are running and that we see inconclusive results in our test explorer. And I'm going to show you this in just a minute. Our final step, step five, is we now start writing the tests. So we identify what the tests are. Now let's write the test to actually call the original method that we're performing the test on. We might then go through and refactor that original method if we find that, oh, hey, I found out that this scenario that I thought worked when I run a test with this input does not really work. Well, then we need to refactor a little bit. And then we just keep up this process. We repeat until all of our test methods are working. We're going to create three method stubs. We'll create one that is file name does exist, so we'll test for a good file name. We're going to create a test for a bad file name, and we'll create a test for when no file name has been passed.